So a lot of people come up to me and say, how did you become a business analyst? How did you get into IT? What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. It's good to see you again. I hope you're well. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Timmy, but my friends call me the Honorable Minister for Enjoyment. I work as an identity and access management business analyst, and I am the founder and director of a very successful child modeling agency here in the UK. Now, I get asked all the time how I got into IT. So today I'm going to be addressing that question. First thing first, I am a computer science graduate. So yeah, you can call me a nerd or a geek, whatever you want to call me. That's by the way. I studied computer science and I work within IT in the cybersecurity space, to be precise. So when I finished from uni and I graduated, I got my very first job as a software developer or a software engineer, depending on who you speak with. They're very interchangeable. So I got the job. Let's just go with software developer for now, as a software developer. And a couple of months, like 4 or 5 months into the role, I knew that the role wasn't for me. I knew that I had to get out as quickly as possible. It was that bad. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with being a software developer. There's nothing wrong with being a software engineer. Take 3. Hats off to all the software developers and engineers out there. You guys are the real MVP. Yeah, that's it. That's more like it. I mean, it's a really, really, really nice job if you enjoy writing programming codes. It wasn't for me. I wanted the soft life. I'm all about the soft life. And so I knew that I needed to get out as quickly as possible. But at the same time, being a fresh graduate out of uni, I wanted to soak as much information and knowledge as I could. So I stayed on the job. Luckily for me, 2 months after I came to that realization, the company decided that they were going to transition from waterfall to agile methodology. So for anyone who doesn't know what waterfall and agile is, I will be breaking this down in subsequent videos. So please subscribe if you haven't, so that you don't miss this video. So they decided they wanted to transition from waterfall to agile. So they brought in consultants to train us to become agile. At that point in time, we had 12 developers on the team, no BAs, no Scrum Master. So it was a case of everyone had to pick up both the business analysis side of things and the software development side of things. So you would go to the stakeholders, elicit your requirements, document the requirements, create use cases, create user stories to go on Jira, put story points. All of this I will cover in subsequent videos, by the way. And then you would go on to do the development. So it became more like an hybrid role. And I'm so grateful for that, because that gave me first-hand experience into business analysis. And I knew that that's what I wanted to do going forward. So I stayed on the role for about 8 months more to get as much experience as possible and soak as much in as possible. And then I decided to leave. Leaving that role as a bit of a backstory as well, which is a funny one. And I say this all the time. And even when I go to interviews, I say this as part of my interview discussion, and everyone cracks up when I say it. So I was given a task. I had a deadline. I had gone to elicit requirements. I had documented them, create use cases, user stories, and put them on Jira, obviously prioritize them. And I needed to pick up a particular task as part of a sprint. Sprint is something that I'll be discussing in my subsequent video as well. So please watch out for that. And when I got to coding this piece of software that I had to do, it was all going smoothly until it was time to start testing and then obviously deploy. And I ran into a very, very big issue. At that point, it was really big because my code would not run and pass. I know nowadays there's so many AIs that would help you to run the programming code to tell you what the issues are. And you have communities like Stack Overflow where developers come together and help you. But at that point in time, there was nothing of such. It was literally a case of you having to go through your code line by line to sort of find out the issue and rectify it that way. So I'd spent 3 days, 3 to 4 days trying to find this issue, and I couldn't find it. I mean, I looked through the lines so many times that I was beginning to see double, and I could not figure it out. I would go back home and get really frustrated. I stopped eating. I couldn't sleep at night because I had a deadline that was fast approaching. So I went back into work. It was on a Wednesday, I remember vividly. And I was looking through the codes again because I was like, I'm not going to give up. I don't give up easily. And then I found it. So I had spent 4 days being frustrated, looking through hundreds of lines of codes to find what the issue was, only to find out that it was just a semicolon in the wrong place. So it wasn't like my code was not good. It wasn't like I didn't know what I was doing. It wasn't like I had the wrong things in there. It was completely fine. It was just that semicolon. So I took that out, ran the code, and it went smoothly, tested it, and then deployed it, and then met the deadline. But at that point in time, I knew it wasn't for me. I wasn't going to get gray hair because I was trying to deploy a code to whatever environment it was. So I said to my line manager that I needed to have a word, called him into a meeting room, and I said, you know what, it's been lovely, it's been nice, but I quit. And he just looked at me thinking, what have we done to me? And I was like, nothing, you haven't done anything to me. It's just made me realize that this is not for me. At that particular point in time, it was a very drastic decision. It was very drastic, but it needed to be done because I had no job, I had nothing to fall back on, and I just packed my stuff, said goodbye to my colleagues, and I left. So I went home and I went back to the drawing board and I went back to revamp my CV, trying to highlight all the business analysis skills that I had acquired during the past couple of months on my CV, and started looking for business analyst role. And that's one thing I'm going to be touching up on subsequent videos as well, ways that you can actually highlight transferable skills to get a business analysis job. Most of the time, you have those skill sets already. You just need to be able to highlight those skill sets and then train or learn more to become a business analyst. So it's not rocket science. So I highlighted all those skills on my CV, and then I got a new role as a business solutions analyst, which was more like a business analyst and a report analyst combined together. I did that for a couple of years actually. And since then, I've held various roles such as business intelligence analyst, business solutions analyst. I've been a consultant. I've been a technical analyst. I've been a systems analyst, name it. At some point, I was just doing business analysis, and I got really bored because obviously coming from a very technical background as a software developer, I studied computer science, and being in an environment where business analysis became more like an admin role. I mean, it depends on the company and the team that you work for. Sometimes you're just there waiting for something to happen, and you're asking yourself if you're actually utilizing and using your skills, or you're just being an admin. And it got to that point that I was feeling like I wasn't fully utilizing my skills, and I needed to get out of that area so that I don't completely lose my skill set, because it was becoming very boring. And then I went back and then revamped my CV and retrained, and then I got into cybersecurity, which is the area that I'm currently in. I feel very comfortable here because obviously coming from a software development background, cybersecurity gives me the opportunity to use my business analysis skill and my software development skills. So I'm doing both. I'm doing backend, development and deployment, as well as liaising with stakeholders to elicit and document requirements. So it is a perfect fit for me based on my background and my experience. So I'm very comfortable here. But yeah, that is how I got into IT and I got into business analysis. But like I said, I will be breaking down all of this, everything that I've mentioned in this video, and a lot more into ABC format. So please subscribe so that you don't miss when I upload these juicy videos. Trust me, I am going to be breaking them down, because a lot of times, like I said in my previous video, you come on YouTube and you see so many videos saying, oh, you can become a business analyst in 6 weeks. You can become a scrum master in 2 weeks. You can become a solutions architect in 4 weeks, you name it. But the problem is no one is actually telling you how to transition. No one is giving you the tips on how to highlight those skills on your CV. Nobody's breaking down all these jargons into ABC formats, into digestible formats that is easy to digest and understand and be able to articulate and relate with. And that's what I want to do. So my subsequent videos will be about breaking all of these areas and the skill sets needed to become a BA into sizable, biteable chunks like ABC format, so that you can then run with that and then see if you can progress your career. So if you've got any questions or any suggestions, or if there are any areas you'd like me to touch on specifically, please comment below and I'll be sure to pick that up and do a video on that. But thank you so much for coming to my channel once again. It's lovely to see you, and I hope to see you in my next one. Stay blessed.